Alright, it looks like the official preview footage for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is finally here, and so today we will take a look at it. And more specifically, we will look at the things that you missed in the new Zelda Tears of the Kingdom demo footage. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Now we will start off by looking at the items, because there were a lot seen in the new demo footage, and some of them weren't even mentioned or used at all in the footage by a lot of the creators. So, let's start with our first one, the Bomb Flower. This is a Legend of Zelda classic that has been seen in a lot of other games, from A Link Between Worlds to Twilight Princess. And now they are back in Tears of the Kingdom, which makes a lot of sense because in Breath of the Wild, you could only use bombs by using a specific rune. However, those runes are gone and are replaced. And so Nintendo had to add Bomb Flowers so that we could finally make bomb arrows, blow stuff up, and so much more. Personally, I'm quite excited to see these, because we haven't seen them in a Zelda game in quite a bit. The last time we saw them was Skyward Sword, but now they are back, baby. Now the next thing that I saw is that a lot of people were using the Master Koga Paraglider, which is a new paraglider design that's going to be in the game, which you can most likely unlock by using an amiibo. Now Master Koga was the leader of the Yiga, who was seen in Breath of the Wild, but he was killed there. However, maybe he comes back in this game, who knows? Personally, I quite like the design, and I think it looks really good. And in the fortress area, we get to see a Bokoblin with brand new armor, and also how this Bokoblin reacts to a bomb tied to a shield. As you can imagine, it didn't go too well for the Bokoblins, but it does show off that basically anything is possible in this game. Now the next thing that I saw was an item known as a Sundelion, which seems to be a healing flower that you can collect and use in potions and food recipes. And as we have all seen with a portable cooking pot, cooking is once again going to be a crucial part of the game. However, this wasn't the only food item. Another thing they added was a new fish known as the Ancient Arowana. Now we don't really know what this fish can do, but again, it will most likely be very useful when cooking. However, we could also see that old food items are once again back, but this time they are a lot better. For example, the Golden Apple, which is most likely a superior version of the normal apple in terms of healing. Maybe it even restores health over time, who knows really. However, a lot of items that we saw in the new demo footage could also be used to either take out enemies or to create new stuff. For example, the Dazzle Fruit, which seems to be a flower that acts as some sort of flashbang. And so if you put it on an arrow, you could shoot it at enemies and then completely disorient them, because as soon as it hits someone, it will explode with a massive flash. That's at least what it seems to do, according to the description in-game. And then you have the Muddle Bud, which is a flower that can confuse enemies, and then they will attack each other, which is great for a distraction or some sort of getaway. And this one was used in a lot of the demo footage. Now we also get to see what the Fire Fruit does. And this one is quite self-explanatory because it just sets stuff on fire, which is handy, but at the end of the day, there are many other items that can do the exact same thing. But still, handy. And we even get to see certain quest items, like this Zonai Power Stone, which is most likely used to power some sort of Zonai contraption. Now in some of the shots, you can also see that there are treasure chests hanging from the islands. And if you shoot them down and reach them, you can get a reward. And one of those is this ancient map, which points towards some ancient treasure. Now, we don't know exactly what, but maybe these are similar to what we saw in Breath of the Wild, with ancient items like Zan's mask or Ganondorf's armor. And in some of these chests, you can also find special items like a magic rod, which you can turn into almost any type of elemental wand, using stuff like rubies and sapphires. And so you can create almost any Wizrobe wand that was seen in Breath of the Wild. And maybe you can also attach other stuff to it. With Tears of the Kingdom, you can never be certain. Almost anything is possible. However, some materials were also used to get new parts or Zonai energy. For example, this new material known as Zonite. According to the description, ancients used this to extract Zonai energy. So I bet the ore that the Bokoblins were mining in earlier trailers was exactly this material. And by the looks of it, if you refine it, you get something known as a Zonite charge. charge. This can be used to charge your batteries or get new parts so you can make new stuff. And you can get this material by killing constructs, and maybe you can even turn this new zonite material into these charges. Now, while all these new items are really cool, they also added a bunch of new options and quality of life improvements. And so that's the next thing we will look at. One thing that I saw right away is that you can now use choo-choo jelly as some sort of grenade, which is something that wasn't possible in Breath of the Wild. Now sure, you can also attach them to an arrow, but if you don't have arrows, you can also hold one in your hand and throw it at an enemy, allowing you to freeze them, for example, as you can see right here. And personally, I think this is really cool. Now in the trailer, we could also see that building stuff is incredibly important, and you can carry all those materials with you. But what do you do if you need new stuff? Well, you just go to one of these gumball machines. And by the looks of it, you need to throw in some zonite energy, and then you can get a bunch of new materials that you can take with you on your entire journey. And so this thing will most likely be very important in the game, along with zonite energy. And after 6 years of development, they also added some quality of life improvements on certain things that were already seen in Breath of the Wild. For example, a quick select food menu. This can be incredibly handy when you need to make some food on the go and don't have the time to think about all the recipes that are possible. You can just discover a recipe and then it's in your recipe book. This is something they should have added to Breath of the Wild, but now it is in Tears of the Kingdom. Now another thing they added, which should have been in Breath of the Wild, is the fact that you can drop items more easily, as you can see in the footage right here. In Breath of the Wild, when you try to pick up an item and there is no space, you get a message that it doesn't fit. But in this game, you can instantly swap it out for another weapon, or just leave it there, which is a lot better and another big quality of life improvement. And Nintendo even added certain quality of life improvements when it comes to making mistakes. For example, during the demo, it said multiple times that items that are fused can be detached. And so if you create a weapon that isn't too good, you can just take it apart and make something completely new. And so you can experiment, and if you messed up, then it's fine. You could just try again. Personally, I think this was a really good choice because experimentation is very important for this game and you don't want to limit players. And the last thing that I saw, which actually didn't really make me that happy, is that the Koroks are back. In this game, we are once again looking for Koroks all over the world, most likely to expand your inventory, which is something we saw in Breath of the Wild as well. And while it was an okay mechanic, for the people who love 100%ing, getting all those Koroks certainly wasn't worth it. So I'm curious how many will be in the game this time. And yes, I will not collect all of them, because I'm not insane. Now these were all the things that I saw in the demo footage, but let me know if I missed any. And also let me know down below in the comments what you think about the new gameplay demo footage. Personally, I am very excited for the game, and every time I see new material like this gameplay demo or what Ayanuma did or new trailers, I get even more excited. So be sure to subscribe, click the bell button and leave a like, because more Tears of the Kingdom content is on the way. Thank you all so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. This was a short little video that I just put together because excitement. I hope you all enjoy it, and yeah, game coming soon! Woo!